Omaha's news leader, chronicling the stories and people making a difference in our community. This is KETV Newswatch 7's Chronicle.
And welcome to our special Year in Review edition of KETV Newswatch 7's Chronicle. I'm Rob McCartney.
I'm Julie Cornell. We've put together the top 10 stories of 2018, courtesy of our digital team here at KETV.
And we looked at what was most popular online, tallying up the numbers from our mobile app, our desktop clicks, and Facebook posts. The collection of stories is a snapshot of what's happened over the past 12 months.
And we start with the ultimate stress reliever.
Yeah, there's a place in Bellevue where you can smash your frustration away.
KETV Newswatch 7's Alexandra Stone checked it out.
Shattered glass. A smashed television set. It may sound like the stuff of nightmares, but here at this Omaha Smash Room, it's all for fun.
It was awesome. And the plates, you always drop a plate at home, but you don't get to throw it yourself. It's always by accident.
Sarah Bernhagen brought her two sons here, saying what she asked for on Mother's Day was some quality time with her boys.
And I knew Mother's Day was coming up, and a lot of times I choose things that they don't want to do because it's all about mothers. And I thought, you know what, today I want to do something that I know my boys will love.
Despite some initial resistance,
I didn't want to go.
It turns out breaking stuff can be a great opportunity for family bonding.
You just gotta relieve stress, just break stuff.
I just started smashing them as hard as I could because it was so fun.
Certainly parenthood itself provides its fair share of stress.
It felt good, making holes, destroying things. Lots of aggression came out.
But Bernhagen says ultimately this is about making memories with her boys.
I just really wanted to do something that I knew meant something to them, so I just feel really happy that they had a good time.
Reporting in Bellevue, Alexandra Stone, KETV Newswatch 7.
Fun. If smashing things isn't your idea of fun, a couple of axe-throwing places also opened in Omaha this year, giving you a chance to let your inner Paul Bunyan loose. We have links to those places online right now at KETV.com.
All right, coming in at number 9, the big name change downtown. In June, we learned that the old CenturyLink Center would get a new name. It's now CHI Health Center Omaha. And KETV Newswatch 7 Sarah Feely was there for the announcement.
The new contract starts this fall. All these signs will swap out to say CHI Health Center Omaha, not a hospital, but downtown Omaha's biggest entertainment venue.
I think, if you're going to advertise, go big.
And it's my honor for the first time to welcome you all to CHI Health Center Omaha.
Partnering with the Metropolitan Convention and Entertainment Authority for a 20-year, $23.6 million naming agreement for the downtown arena and convention center.
It is associated with things like joy and hope and promise and excellence. And it's exactly what we want to be associated with.
On September 1st, the name outside the arena will change. Every shirt, trash can, and sign will transition too. So we'll visit Omaha's marketing materials.
We've gone through this before with CenturyLink Center transition, or from Quest to CenturyLink Center. We'll do the exact same thing that we've done before with that. City
leaders say this is good for downtown Omaha's future.
The concept of wellness is really going to be promoted, and as any city is growing, we need that.
CHI Health planning to use it to further their outreach.
We will use this facility for health screenings and health education events, for other community benefit programs.
But some people we spoke with aren't quite sure of the name change yet.
It'll be hard to get used to calling it that. I kind of like the Link name. I'm already trying to think of a nickname for it.
CHI will make those payments over the next 20 years, about $1 million a year. Again, that official name change will happen here September 1st. Reporting for now at the CenturyLink Center, Sarah Feely, KETV Newswatch 7.
And our 8th most popular story keeps us downtown, but the postcard-like image you see here will change. In mid-June, city and community leaders unveiled the master plan for the new Jean Leahy Mall in Missouri Riverfront. It's a $290 million endeavor, of which the city will spend $50 million. They say it'll transform downtown Omaha, connecting the mall, the old market, the riverfront, and the Capital District. So what do people think of the redesign? Here's KETV Newswatch 7's David Earl.
An 11th Street promenade, just one of many key features in what isn't a makeover, but a massive reconstruction of the Jean Leahy Mall.
It's a pretty park, but no one uses it. We have a huge water feature that nobody uses.
The mall, from the downtown library to 11th Street, gets filled in. A large lawn, dog park, sculpture garden, and other amenities planned for what used to be water. Further east, a new connection to Heartland of America Park and a riverfront reimagined. Ken Stinson explains this isn't just park improvement, it's a recruiting tool.
We think people from outside of our community will be more inspired to move their families or perhaps their businesses, their corporations here to our community.
We showed the plans to people already in Omaha using the Jean Leahy Mall Tuesday night.
It would be a change. I mean, I don't necessarily know how to feel about it.
I mean, you're gonna ruin a lot of memories and a lot of childhood memories. You can't get memories back.
More kid-friendly things downtown besides just little slides.
Others at a meeting about the project were mostly supportive of the plan. Still, some wondered how a project of this scale might affect other area attractions like Fontenelle Forest.
What will that do to the forest and to our going out to philanthropic groups and individuals?
Project leaders say the more to see and do in the Omaha Metro, the better. They predict people will come from far and wide to see what they build.
While the plan greatly expands the area of parkland, connects to the river, and allows for greater accessibility, it will also have a lot of wow features that will make it a must-see part of the region.
And earlier this month, the Planning Board approved Phase 1 of the project, which will transform the Conagra campus southeast of 10th and Farnham Streets. City Council will vote on the $105 million project early next year. If all goes as planned, construction will start next fall.
And we'll be right back with more of this year's top stories, including a convicted serial killer sentenced to death and the wild weather that shut down I-80 multiple times this spring. You're watching KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle.
This one went right over our house. Right over our house. And then there's a full-fledged tornado over there north of Bondurant. Holy crap.
Extraordinary images from central Iowa this July. A tornado outbreak caused extensive and widespread damage in Bondurant, Marshalltown, and Pella. Welcome back to KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle.
This morning, we're looking back at the top 10 stories of the year. And of course, weather made the list. We didn't have any extensive severe weather outbreaks in 2018, but in June, 3 weak EF0 tornadoes touched down in Cass County, including this one that formed over Louisville. The bigger weather story this summer was the rising Missouri River. And while it wasn't nearly as bad as the floods of 2011, the high water did create several issues, as KETV News Watch 7's James Wilcox shows us.
When I was out here Monday night when the park closed, none of this was underwater, but boy, what a difference. Check this out. This area is where campers normally would be. Across the road on the other side, this is looking toward the Missouri River. You can see the pavilions, the playground, everything surrounded by more water. The levels have gone up more than 4 feet since Monday, now right around 28.5 feet here at the park. Exact levels are still fluctuating a little bit, but today is crest point. Water should start to recede over the next few days. The city will then start the cleanup process.
You'll have occasional sticks and some debris that came in, but when it's only a couple days, it's not long enough to kill all the grass, so we shouldn't have to do a major overseeding or anything like that.
The city isn't sure exactly how long the park will stay closed, likely another week or so. They'll have a better idea once the water recedes and is gone from areas like this, which is normally a parking lot. At NP Dodge Park, James Wilcox, KETV News Watch 7.
Such a mess. And remember this, dry conditions this spring forced the State Patrol to shut down I-80 a bunch of times. It's because as farmers plowed their fields, it kicked up dust and then blew across the interstate, creating zero visibility and causing a bunch of chain reaction crashes. And for the first time in a long time, we've had some significant snowfall like this storm in mid-October. It toppled trees and caused widespread power outages in the metro.
All right, coming in at number 6, the stabbing at Burke High School this September. Police say 15-year-old Lacey Page's ex-boyfriend, Nicholas Caesar, attacked her and then slit his own throat. They survived. Page continues to recover from her injuries and is back in school part-time. Now, the incident at school that afternoon resulted in some emotional reunions. And KETV Newswatch 7's Jose Zozaya was there for it all.
Just trying to, stay calm here. Just not think of anything, worse.
Parents wait outside Burke High School, trying not to worry.
Nervous, scared for the kids.
The first wave of students walk out, all of them safe.
I am actually really relieved. They caught the people, so that was more relieving.
Tears flow with the rain as students try to process the chaotic moments in their classrooms.
An emergency situation parents like Chris Hines Sr. could have never imagined for his son, Chris Jr., who was holed up inside one of those classrooms. But some quick thinking from him, his classmates, and his teachers meant that they would be safe as school resource officers went to address the situation.
I just got in the corner and we just threw a whole bunch of desks in front of the door.
He's proud of his son, and he's happy with the quick response from school staff as well.
I think it's a good precaution to take. I mean, unfortunately, we have to go to these depths to assure that our kids are being safe. But, I mean, if it's necessary, then I'm all for it.
Jose Zozaya, KETV Newswatch 7.
And we are halfway through the top stories of the year. The re-election of Governor Pete Ricketts, Senator Deb Fischer, Congressman Don Bacon, and Jeff Fortenberry also made the list. And so did Initiative 427, which expands Medicaid in Nebraska. KETV Newswatch 7's Andrew Ozaki looks at what's next now that voters approved it.
No one was more excited about 427 passing than Laura Curry. The working single mother of 3 is one of an estimated 90,000 Nebraskans who could soon be covered by Medicaid.
I'm really happy that the voice of the people spoke in the state and said, no, we're going to take care of our own people.
But her gain could be another person's loss, according to Governor Pete Ricketts.
I've been very clear we're not going to raise taxes. And so we've got other priorities in the budget like K-12 education, higher education, property tax relief, and potentially even roads. There's going to be less money for all those other priorities because we have to fit Medicaid expansion into that budget.
To get federal funding, the state must match 10%, which is an estimated $50 million over the first 2 years.
I'm sure it's going to be a lively debate in the legislature on how that gets implemented.
Lincoln Senator Adam Moorfield, a longtime advocate of Medicaid expansion, will be part of that debate.
Well, there's all kinds of ways that we could pay for this. I personally think that we should do it in a way that doesn't impact current programs, doesn't impact K-12 education or other institutions, and do it with the additional revenue from online sales tax.
That tax revenue is expected to bring in $30 to $40 million a year. Moorfield believes expansion could help out Nebraska hospitals, which had $1.2 billion in uncompensated health care services last year. The Nebraska Hospital Association says nearly half of the state's smaller rural facilities are under substantial financial stress.
Medicaid expansion starts paying for itself in 2 or 3 years.
While some are concerned current Medicaid recipients will get crowded out, others like Curry can't wait to finally have health insurance.
I'm hopeful and optimistic that there won't be a lot of stalling, that they can get it going.
In Lincoln, Andrew Ozaki, KETV Newswatch 7.
So supporters say the earliest people could start receiving coverage would be next July.
Coming in at number 4, Anthony Garcia, sentenced to death for the murders of Thomas Hunter and Shirley Sherman in 2008, and Dr. Roger Brumbach and his wife Mary in 2013. During his sentencing, Garcia was unresponsive, appearing to sleep through most of it. And Judge Gary Randall was taken from the courtroom on a stretcher, suffering from back pain. The KETV Newswatch 7's Camila Ortiz has highlights from that emotional day in court.
In front of a packed courtroom, members from both Shirley Sherman's and Thomas Hunter's families read impact statements before the final ruling, indicating closure was never going to happen and the pain will never go away.
It's like throwing a stone into a pond and the ripples continue and continue and continue.
Shirley Sherman's brothers saying something will always be missing from family gatherings, both of them asking the judges to sentence Garcia to death. In the middle of the hearing, Judge Gary Randall started to shake, saying he was in pain and he needed a break. After confusion as to whether or not the hearing could continue without him, Judge Rick Schreiner read the final sentence, overruling an objection by the defense.
I think the key was that, the order was signed by all the judges prior to them even coming out. They had all decided unanimously that was the the sentence process.
Garcia got 4 death sentences plus more than 130 years for the remaining 5 felonies.
And Douglas County Attorney Don Klein says an automatic appeal will be filed, as is protocol in death penalty cases. Garcia's attorneys had no comment.
We'll be right back with the top 3 stories of the year. First, a reminder that your comments are an important part of the show. If you'd like to be heard, you can email your comments to news@ketv.com. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle.
This morning, we're taking a look back at the biggest stories of 2018, and we're down to our top 3.
That's right. Our third most watched story was something that hadn't happened in 20 years in Nebraska, the execution of an inmate on death row.
For those who watched Kerry Dean Moore die, they said he looked slightly shaken as he laid on the table, and they said it appeared the gravity of what was about to happen to him had sunk in.
August 14, 2018 will go down in Nebraska history as the state's first ever lethal injection.
KETV Newswatch 7's Chin Doan was inside the state pen as the Department of Corrections carried out the execution. She files this report.
You may make a final statement at this time.
Just the statement that I had delivered to you already about my brother Donnie and the innocent men on Nebraska's death row. That's all that I have to say.
That's Kerry Dean Moore's final statement an hour before his execution Tuesday. He's talking about this letter he wrote on August 2nd, in which he expresses regret for getting his younger brother, Donald, involved in one of the robberies that led him to death row.
And because of that, I am terribly sorry. In parentheses, please forgive me, Don, somehow.
On one side of the chamber was a clergy member and 3 people Moore picked. None of the victim's family was there.
I recognize that today's execution impacts many people on many levels. Most certainly the families of Mr. Van Ness and Mr. Helgelin.
Director Scott Frakes approved 2 corrections staff and 4 media witnesses.
Mr. Moore was covered in a white sheet with his left arm extended out and connected to the IV. He turned his head left and mouthed several words to appears a number of witnesses, including the words, "I love you."
Witnesses say Moore began to breathe heavily. Then 3 minutes later, they saw Moore cough and his diaphragm moved up and down rapidly.
The gravity of what was happening to him was clear on his face.
At 10:31, they say he went still and his face slowly turned slightly red, then turned purple. A coroner pronounced Moore dead at 10:47.
Now, one of the media witnesses had seen 13 executions before this one and says the 4-drug cocktail seemed to take much longer compared to others he's witnessed in Missouri. And the state of Nebraska has notified Jose Sandoval that his execution is proceeding, but no date has been set for that execution.
The disappearance of Molly Tibbetts and discovery of her body comes in at number 2. The 20-year-old was beaten and left in a cornfield as she went for a run this summer. The day after the man accused of murdering her led police to her body, hundreds gathered across Iowa to remember the young woman who was so full of life. Molly's family was heartbroken with the way the case ended, and they released this statement saying, "We know that many of you will join us as we continue to carry Molly in our hearts forever." And that's exactly what happened in her hometown of Brooklyn, Iowa. KETV News Watch 7's Michelle Bandura was there as they held a vigil in her honor.
In Molly Tibbetts' hometown of Brooklyn, Iowa, the community is having a hard time understanding why this happened, but they're relying on their faith to get them through their grief.
Sometimes life can be very tragic and very ugly, and you know, Molly's life, she had so much.
By now, they all know what happened to Molly Tibbetts. They just don't know why.
I always give it back to God. And I know that I can't always find out that answer right now, but maybe later.
Hundreds in the community packed the historic Iowa church looking for those answers and to remember Molly. She was part of St. Patrick's youth group and joined her grandmother for church services.
First, it might have started out that I'm doing this to please my grandmother, but I think, you know, eventually that, you know, she saw what it did to her grandmother, and that instilled that in her too, as well.
Molly's grandmother did find comfort at the vigil, as did the Poweshiek County Sheriff. Many thanked him for his efforts to find the young college student. Allison Maurer also tried to find her friend.
It wasn't the outcome that we were expecting, but we're still happy that they know where she is now and that she's in a better place.
But when she was in this place,
To not weep for Molly.
her hometown, Molly left an impact on everyone she met.
When she was here, it was always so fun, and when she went missing, it was just so hard for everybody to understand and cope with, and now it's even harder with her being gone. We all know where she is, and we can just think she's right next to us every day, all the time.
The family is still making arrangements for Molly's funeral, but it is expected to be sometime this weekend at Brooklyn High School. Reporting in Brooklyn, Michelle Bandur, KETV, Newswatch 7.
Now, the man charged with killing Molly Tibbetts, 24-year-old Christian Rivera, is being held on a $5 million bond. His attorneys have asked for an itemized list of the specific charges and claims against their client. Court documents filed don't detail how Rivera, who's in the country illegally, allegedly committed the crime, although there is video that shows him stalking Tibbetts as she went for a run. He also admitted to blacking out. Rivera's trial is expected to begin in April.
And our #1 story of the year, the start of the Scott Frost era.
And no surprise there. What was surprising was how the season went, even from the start. See, their first game was canceled due to weather, and then they lost their next 6 games and finished 4-8 for the second straight year. But throughout the season, fans stayed loyal.
In fact, one story we covered at Memorial Stadium went viral. It was about the Husker hat a student found while cleaning up after the Illinois game.
Now, Vince Kanasic left it there, hoping it could get to the head coach.
It did, and KETV Newswatch 7's Taylor Barth shows us what made this hat so special.
Yeah, we've been together all of our lives.
Cousins, best friends, and Husker football fans.
We're a little nuts about it, but we're just good fans.
For 10 years, Vince and Paul would tailgate in this RV, better known as the Beast. But this season, Paul's battle with aplastic anemia sidelined that tradition, forcing him to watch from his hospital bed.
He was still enjoying Husker football to the last breath.
The 62-year-old passed away just hours after the Ohio State game. The following week, the Huskers took on Illinois, and Vince needed a fitting farewell.
And that's all it was meant to be was, final goodbye.
He knew he wanted to leave Paul's hat on his seat, but moments before the game, he decided to write this letter.
Believe it or not, the only pin in the RV, in the Beast, guess what color the ink is? It's red. What the heck?
Maybe that was the first sign his plan might just work. Then Monday night, a Facebook message popped up from Christian Reese Newquist.
I am terribly sorry for your loss. My roommates and I will do everything in our power to carry out your request. And boy, did they.
This post went viral, and before Vince knew it,
well, you guys want a picture?
A picture that could say 1,000 words. And for Vince, one of those is goodbye.
For Christian, and not especially, and Scott Frost to take time.
Means a lot.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Wonderful story. Well, Vince gave the hat to Paul's family, whose daughter and mom also got to meet Scott Frost.
Okay, so that's 2018, at least the popular stories from our digital team. And remember, if you missed any part of the show or you want to watch it again, we'll put it online at KETV.com.
Just go to our homepage and click on the menu button and look for Chronicle. I'm Julie Cornell. Thanks for watching.
I'm Rob McCartney. We'll see you back here next Sunday morning for another KETV Newswatch 7 Chronicle.